I put the new 4G's on the G. I trap into the bloody bottoms is on the knee. Cause all my niggas got it out the streets. I keep 100 racks inside my G. I remember hitting them all with the whole team. Now niggas can't answer calls cause I'm all.
Hey there guys, it's me, Lemon Disaster, and I'm here with another pointless video. So, one thing I've been thinking about, right, in my cerebral cortex, in my medulla oblongata, my frontal lobe, right, I've just been thinking, thinking of thoughts.
A person who thinks all the time has nothing to think about except thoughts.
And I came to the realization about something, right? And that is that life is a very beautiful thing. More beautiful than you will ever know. Think about it, dog. Like, when you're on this earth, man, there's like so many different types of people. And it's just interesting, man, because like, different people act differently. They all have funny personalities. Everybody's got something going on, And it's just really interesting to see like random people and like, what the fuck is this nigga? Who is this dude? Or like niggas just be saying like the most random nonsense. You go to school, you got like those weird niggas, you got the popular kids, you got niggas who are always in the corner, you got all those, you got a whole spectrum of people, man. The human race is a spectrum, bro. Like, no one person is exactly the same, right? Except these like American Valley Girl types. They all look like clones to me. I ain't gonna hold you. But yeah, man, like people can be are like very interesting, dog. Like, one thing I've come to realize is how like, how people say like the most important thing to a person is like the first impression, right? And that's kind of true, right? I honestly don't think first impressions are like that important, cause like, think about it, dude. Like the first time you meet someone, it's a very surface level and shallow interpretation of a person, right? You don't know who they are, like properly. You might know their name, but you don't know who they are. You don't know what they're interested in. You don't really know that much about a person, right? But you can like get a feel for like the general idea what type of person, someone is from their appearance, right? From their outward appearance. But you can't really know everything about them, And I say this because there are a lot of people who I've gotten to know who, from my like first impressions of them, I didn't really think, I had a certain perception of them, and then when you actually start to like have frequent interactions with this person, when you're in constant proximity of each other, you start to realize like, yo man, this nigga's not how I expected him to be. One of my closest friends, right, was this guy I knew. I've known this guy since like primary school, right? But he only really became my friend in high school, right? So he's just a nigga I knew, plus his like became friends with my other friends. So due to proximity over time, we became friends. But before I didn't like that nigga, bro. He was a nigga I knew, but I didn't really like him per se. He came off as rude and condescending sometimes back in the day. But like now he's like actually one of my closest friends, And if I had been completely closed off to this person, right, I probably wouldn't be like friends with him the way he is now. Like he's a pretty good, cool guy to have friends with. Pretty funny. Says some really like stupid shit half the time. If I was closed off about him, then I wouldn't have been friends with him, and I wouldn't have gotten to know what kind of person he really is, right? And that's true for a bunch of other people. If I didn't interact with them more and actually have like little conversations with these niggas, I wouldn't have known them that well. I would have had like this surface level interpretation of who they are. And I mean, some people aren't really worth getting to know that closely, like, because at the end of the day, like, some people, their true self is very much out in the open. They wear their heart on their sleeves. And so if they have attributes that are just very negative from the jump, it's maybe not worth getting to know that person. I would just say, man, like, interact with as many people as you can, bro, because human beings are interesting to see. They're very interesting. We are a very interesting species, man. We have intellect. First impressions don't really matter that much, man. Like, you shouldn't let that be the only thing that stops you. Definitely like look out for red flags in people, right? Don't just be friends with everybody. Never rule out possibilities with people. Just talk to people, be communicative. That's kind of why like I wish I was a more outgoing person, because if I was more outgoing, it would probably be easier for me to make friends with people. But it is what it is, man. It's cool. Everybody's got their struggle. And my struggle is not getting any hoes. But yeah, man, friendship is a beautiful thing. Friendship is a very beautiful thing. Without friends, life would be pretty boring. Having a variety of people to interact with is just, it's just better. When you're always around the same group of people, you kind of end up having like, I don't know how to say, but like a very closed perspective of life. And you don't really know how to deal with a lot of different people. Because now it's like you only used to being around this type of person, That's why when you were a kid, your parents would be like, go outside, because one, your parents don't like dealing with you when you're a kid, to be honest. But besides that, like, it's just better to interact with other kids, man. Because these are the niggas who you're probably gonna live the rest of your life with, but we're gonna share the planet with these niggas for the foreseeable future. So you gotta know how to interact with your peers, okay? Not just mommy and daddy. Friendship is a very beautiful thing, people will help you out. It's a nice feeling when you have someone that you can he will help you out, when you're out on the streets. On these streets, you got someone who will help you out in a situation, or maybe lend you money, maybe get you out of a tough situation if they're capable, give you a ride every now and then, Having friends is nice, bro. Like, cause life would be very difficult without friends. If you were like legit on your own, like, cause even family, bro, like, they can't always be there, because they're people too. Your family can't always be there for you. So it's nice to have other people who are not necessarily related to you, who will be there for you. I think part of what makes like life really important is like shared experiences, camaraderie, like friends relating to like maybe they struggle, you and the homies struggling to get girls, on that soldier mentality, right? Or you got out of a few fights, you played video games together, you have shared interests, these shared experiences, being around each other. Because sometimes you do find yourself being around your friends more than your family, especially, because of school, right? You spend like 7 to 8 hours a day at this location. Like the challenges of life, being able to like experience certain challenges and pleasures, being able to relate to one another. I think it's a pretty important thing, with people. And that's why I think it's important to just interact with people as much as you can, because I ain't gonna hold you, bro. Being a shut-in is not nice, bro. Legit, I don't even think I existed those years, bro. 2021 and 2022, I did not exist, bro. Because I legit only ever existed when I was on like the school campus, bro. I was practically an apparition, bro. Like, I barely saw anyone that I knew from school outside of school, right? Like varsity, I mean like college. As far as they knew, I was just like a random dude that spawned on the campus, bro. So don't be a shut-in, bro. It's not worth it. They don't focus too much on like the negativity of like the world of like, because sometimes one thing that can like blind you to the actual positivity in the world is hyperfixing on negativity. The human mind is like predisposed to focusing more on negative things, because I don't know, maybe it's like a survival thing. You focus more on the negative, so you're more prone to survive. Like it just focuses more on like negativity. And yeah, it's not a good idea to focus too much on negativity. Like that's why I say like it's important to like be around people, because when you see people, like, people are entertaining, though. People will irritate the frick out of you, but they will also entertain you, because you never know, man. I mean, how you gonna get the baddies if you don't talk to them? It's just the reality of life, man. Speaking of baddies, like baddies and friends, right? One thing always kind of weirded me out back in like my high school days was like people knowing who I am, even though we never like properly interacted. Like, how do you know me, dog? Like, it's not even like I was a popular dude at school or anything, bro. But like, I had friends who were kind of like, known at school, and people would just know who I am, and I'm like, bro, like, I'd see you every day, and so obviously you might know my face. Like back in high school, they used to call me Mayon. I'm not gonna explain where that name came from, but niggas used to call me Mayon, and niggas would be like, hey, when am Mayon? And I'm like, nigga, who are you, dog? How do you know my name? How do you know me? Like, I remember there was this one time I was like walking in like the passageway, right? And there are like this group of like girls, or like matric girls, grade 12 girls sitting there. So I was in grade 8 at the time. So I'm walking, right? And my one homie, like, he sees me, so he calls out to me because he wants me like wait for him. So he's like, hey man, am I on? So So I ignored him because back then I didn't like the name Mayon. I hated that name. So I ignored him because there were so many people around. So I just ignored him the first time. Then he calls me like, hey man, Mayon. And I'm like, shh. Then he calls me a third time, Mayon. I'm like, fuck, I can't ignore it because if he pulls up to me, he's gonna be on my ass for me ignoring him, right? So I'm like, sure, Rinsa. And then these girls look at me, and then the one girl, I'm just like this, like light-skinned Han, and it's like, oh, when am I on? And I'm like, fuck. And then like literally anytime I saw it, I didn't even know her name, dog. But anytime she saw me, she'll be like, hi, Mayon. And I'm like, what the fuck? And my friends are like, yeah, boy, Mukove, boy. Yeah. I'm like, nigga, shut the fuck up, bro. She's like in grade 12, dog. And maybe she did want me, you know, maybe she wanted to take advantage of my youth and naivety. I don't know, bro. I was not looking to be a victim, okay, bro. At the time, in hindsight, I'm like, maybe I should have let myself be victimized. But that's me speaking in hindsight because I get no holes in the modern era, right? Aww. But like, at the time, I didn't want to be a victim. Okay, man? You niggas were telling me to be a victim. I'm cool, okay? I'm cool, man. I don't need that trauma in my life. But you know, maybe I should have had that trauma. Who knows? You know, some trauma is better to have than others. But yeah, man, it was really random, right? And it kind of makes me think in hindsight, right? Like, did I have like Riz potential? Did I have some hidden Riz aura? Cause like I remember like a bunch of girls back in like grade 7, 8, little bit of 9. They like had some interest in me, like they'll say nice things to me, you know. They'll like come up and talk to me. Like it was weird, man. Like in hindsight, back then I didn't think much of it. I just thought, oh, they're just talking to me, right? Because like back then I didn't just assume that a girl who's talking nicely to me is you know, into me. Like I just wasn't want to just assume that, because it's like, nah, bro. Like maybe she's just being friendly, you know. But it's just interesting because like I remember that was, like last year I was like sitting there, you know, in my sad boy hours. Oh, I get no hoes. You know hoes. And when the homie's like, hey man, you know, back in high school actually, there was like this one time, I just never told you about it. It was like there was like this group of girls and they were asking me about you. And I'm like, who were they? Like, I don't know who they were, bro. I think they were like a grade or 2 below us. I'm like, why didn't you tell me, nigga? Why didn't you tell me, nigga? And he's there and he's just like, what do you say? He said like, oh, you know, man, you know, back then I was really like skeptical of Hans back then, and also like, I don't know, man, I just forgot, I guess. And I'm like, nigga, bro, back then I needed to know that, bro, because back in high school, bro, I was on my full-on like sad boy hours, bro. Like I'm just thinking, and like my friends would always like say, because the thing is like back in high school, I didn't have that much like confidence, especially in my appearance, because the thing was like, you know, I used to have like yee ass hair back in high school, but I mean I still do. I mean like, bro, like, why do you think I'm wearing a hat on this video? My hair is uncombed. I haven't had a haircut in like 3 months. I'm black. How is a black nigga walking around with no haircut for 3 months? I don't know. But that's just the nigga I am. And that was the type of nigga I was, right? I was dusty as fuck. And I had like really bad acne back in high school. And like I'll use like all kinds of skin treatments and stuff, and that shit never worked. Legit, the only thing that's like cured my acne was literally taking a drug. I took this one drug that I got from like the dermatologist that like made my skin super dry. Like my skin wasn't like, it shuts off like your skin's natural like oil production, because you know like your skin has like the natural oil it makes, so it like shuts that off completely. And I was on that for like a year. It was not a great time, to be honest. But yeah. And now his are like, hey man, you're actually good looking, bro. You should have gone for this house. I'm like, look, it's like, what? He's like, yeah man, you look good, bro, you know. I'm actually surprised you don't get any bitches. And I'm like, I mean, where the fuck am I gonna get the bitches? I don't have the confidence. Okay, man. I did not have the chance to develop that shit in high school. Okay, man. Fuck. Yeah, man. But yeah, life is more beautiful than you know. You know, if you actually go outside for like 2 seconds and you actually like feel the rays of the sun on your body, you know, it's pretty good. When you go outside and you feel the rays of the sun, the rays of the warm embrace of the sun, you just feel a little bit better. You're like, you know, I'm not so cold anymore. You know, you feel the heat of the sun. That's God's love, my friend. When you go outside, you feel God's love. Just go outside, man. Go outside, talk to people. If you see a baddie on the street, try to talk to her. you know, you might get a restraining order, but hey, at least you tried, you know. But yeah, man. Anyway, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I have to say. So bye.
Something's in my ass.